What up? This is Pawz One, and you know you're watching the beat shine. It was really different from what I was seeing around me because there was, growing up like early in Compton, there was a lot of gang banging. I had uncles, head to toe banged out and shit like that. But I would see, it was weird. I seen dudes like walking around with cardboard, and I was like, yo, what do they need cardboard for? And then they were doing this funny dancing shit, and then it was kind of weird, but it was cool at the same time. And then some of the graffiti that I saw, a lot of it was like gang graffiti, people writing their hood or whatever, crossing each other out, block letters. But then I started seeing other stuff, bubble letters, a little more colorful. So it's weird coming from where I'm from. The first thing I got exposed to was a lot of the gang stuff, but hip hop like seeped into it, and it kind of took over. And then the music was everywhere. I mean, people were playing it in their car, They got the cassettes, they got the vinyl. Like, a lot of my dad's friends, a lot of the people around me were playing, like, LL Cool J, NWA, Cool Mo D, stuff like that, like the super early stuff. And from then on, I was like, yo, this is the greatest shit ever. Watching Crush Groove, and when LL came in and they try to push him out the door. But, like, seeing it in a movie, like, New York was just like this, I don't know, like, it was a whole different universe to me. It was like a whole different reality. So when I seen the movie, like the buildings and the color and the characters that were in there, but the one part, because I was already like, I kind of knew who LL was. So when that scene, when he bursts in, I think time kind of froze. Like, I got chills, and just being a kid and seeing that, like, somebody just walk in and just dominate and fucking make his presence known. And I was like, yo, and just with the words, like, it was really dope. For me, that was really dope. Well, first, I got into graffiti. That's why my name is Pawz One. I was doing graffiti. I was part of a graffiti crew, a couple crews, had a couple different names. I ended up getting caught here and there. And eventually, my boys would always drink and freestyle, smoke weed and shit like that. And I was always into the music part of it. And I would fuck around with them, practice a little bit. But it wasn't nothing too serious. And then I actually went to juvenile hall for graffiti, and I was in there for about 6 months. And in there, I started like writing more, getting more stuff off my chest, making it rhyme. And I had a couple people in there with me that were like, yo, that's kind of dope. The shit you're saying is kind of fresh. And I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. Started reading every magazine that came through there, anything I could get my hands on. And from there, I got out, and everyone was like, yeah, you can write, but can you freestyle? And freestyling was the biggest thing at the time. I mean, it's still very, very important. It's a cornerstone. So I would freestyle all the time. And I got really good at that and kind of like slept on my writing. But then from freestyling, I would travel wherever, and everybody wanted to battle because I'm Hispanic. And they're like, yo, this motherfucker can't rap. Because at the time where I come from, a lot of the dudes are doing gangster rap. So this dude he can't rap. So it turned into battling. Freestyling turned into battling. I got good at battling, so my boys started signing me up for battles. I started winning the battles. I got sucked into that, started making money, and then I ended up in prison. And I went back to the writing. And then now I got out, put out some projects, put out an album, put out some different material. And from the beginning, that was always my goal. Once I honed in on it and decided it's what I wanted to do, I wanted to make songs that people will listen to 10, 20 years from now. Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, Bob Marley, Bob Dylan, James Brown, like people that, the Beatles, people like that were like, to be a part of something like that, but in a hip hop aspect. I think my family, they were too busy getting high. I mean, a lot of my family, doing drugs, a lot of them, locked up, and my pops was already passed away. What's funny is my pops he fucking hated hip hop. He would make fun of it. He'd turn his hat backwards in the car and start pretending to beatbox and shit like that. It was fucking hilarious. So now he's probably looking down like, wow, this motherfucker's rapping. He's going to Europe. He's in New York. He's traveling the country. He's getting paid. So it's probably funny to him, but I don't think my family really gave a shit. I mean, I know they didn't think I could do it. I know that for sure because I heard him say it, but that's irrelevant to me. I mean, really, at the end of the day, my son and my baby sister are really the only ones that got anything, to prove, anything to them. I mean, I got a lack of budget. There's not a lot of money behind what I do. It's always been kind of like people like what I do. They pick it up and they might get behind it and support. Another thing, though, it's kind of been a chip on my shoulder. And I do see it seep through and it peeks out is my nationality, my race. I think a lot of people to this day, just off of appearance and image and things like that, they probably think I can't rhyme. And it's crazy because I got to work 10 times as hard just to have people take me serious. But I'm grateful for that because I can out-rhyme a lot of the dudes at, you know, whatever color they fucking are. It doesn't matter. So it's been a gift and a curse. But I think that's one of the ones is to be able to go, especially in New York. That's why I love the East Coast. You guys, people look beyond that. Europe, they look beyond the color of the skin and they go off of sound, off of music like it should be. I think back west, it's really more... It's more they go perception is reality, so they figure, oh, he's white, he can't rap, he's black, he's, you know, whatever, oh, this dude can't rap, he dresses like this, he can't spit. But I think that will be one of the biggest things. One of the highlights, honestly, just on a human level, is rolling with Sean Price, because I always respected his music, respected his grind, his presentation, I mean everything about him, but I didn't know shit about him as a person. And then rolling with him and seeing that he's just somebody like, yo, you want him, if you're barbecuing, you want him over. You're watching the game, like that. It was just really dope, the experience. Rolling with him, Shabam Shadiq, Al Gaunt, Patrick, like that experience of being, you know, on the other side of the country in a van, moving around and different experiences and things like that. That was really dope for me. That's probably one of the highlights is just being around great dudes that are really, really talented. I mean, I know people say it a million times, like, yo, it saved my life, it saved my life, it saved my life. It literally did save my life. You know, I found it at a time when my pops had just passed. My mom's was heavy on drugs. You know, a lot of family pushed me out and, you know, didn't really give a fuck about me. And I would just flip through magazines and see pictures of different places throughout the country and the world. And now being able to rap and buy, you know, clothes for my son, feed my son with my raps, and be able to go to Europe with my raps. Like, it's just, I think really that's ultimately what it is for me. I think really I just want them to look at it like, you know how when you do math, it starts from 0 and then it goes up. A lot of people forget that it's -1, -2, -3. Well, if you can start at -85, and if you make it to 90 on the other side, you didn't make it to 90. Think about it. Look how far you went. So me, I started with no money. To this day, there's not a huge budget behind what I do. But shout out to everybody that supports me. But I want them to know that, look, it doesn't matter where the fuck you start. That has nothing to do with where you land. That's all up to you and how far you're willing to push.